Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. If you're a Harley-Davidson owner, especially 2018 to 2024 models, you need to watch this video because a major recall on the 9th of June 2025 has been announced and my own 2019 Harley-Davidson Heritage 114 is directly impacted. Let's talk about it. So let's cut straight to it. Harley-Davidson recently announced a recall affecting over 82,000 Softail models from 2018 all the way up to 2024. This isn't a small deal and could be dangerous for owners who aren't aware of this. So the core issue is a faulty rear shock preload adjuster mounting tab. Now here's my Softail Heritage with the seat off. Now this is the preload adjuster that they're talking about, and I'm assuming this is the bracket here that could potentially fail. Looking at mine, it's okay, but this is the mounting tab that this is bolted onto. So, and I believe this is the piece that could potentially break. Now, don't take my word for it. I'm just going based on what I've read. It may not be this, but that's what I think it potentially could be. Now, you can imagine what that could lead to. Tire damage, sudden loss of tire pressure, and a serious risk of a crash. Not what any of us want when we're out on the open road. Now for me personally, this hits home. I have the 2019 Harley-Davidson Heritage 114, and yes, it's on the list of the affected models. So this recall specifically impacts a range of Softail models though. The recall impacts models like the FLDE, FLHC, the FLHCS like mine, which is the Heritage Classic, FLHCS Anniversary, FXLRS, FXLRST, and the FXRST. So if you own any of those, it's time to pay close attention. Now, what about other Softails that aren't affected by this particular recall? There's good news if you ride any of the following bikes: a Fat Boy, a Breakout, a Fat Bob, a Street Bob, Softail Standard, or a Sport Glide in the Softail range. So these models generally use a different design for their rear shock preload adjuster. For example, some have the external adjuster that's adjusted by hand or require a specific tool called a preload spanner or a C-spanner. They don't have any of this internal mounting tab that's causing the problem for the affected bikes like mine. So if you do ride one of those, you aren't affected, but please, just to be sure, get on the Harley website and check your bike VIN to make sure. I'll leave a link down in the description. Now, when I heard about this, naturally, my first thought was, is my bike safe to ride? So we invest a lot of money into these machines. I don't want to be riding down the road and have an accident or possibly be killed by this issue. So what I did was I called my local Harley-Davidson dealer near me here in Brisbane, and I've asked about the process on the recall and how to get your bike fixed. So the good news is they said that Harley-Davidson is providing a permanent fix for this. So they'll be installing a fix for the bracket that basically prevents the preload adjuster from ever contacting the rear tire. They told me it's a pretty quick job, estimating around 10 minutes once they have the parts. You roll in and wait for the parts to be replaced. It should be a pretty drop in, put the part on and leave. There is a catch though, and this is important for everyone, is that they're currently waiting on the replacement parts to arrive. When I called my dealer, they said they're about a week away from now. It's common with recalls for there to be a slight lead time when new parts are manufactured and they've got to be distributed globally. Now this brings us to the big question. Should you ride your bike while you're waiting for this fix? This is where it gets a bit tricky, and I want to be very clear about this. The official stance from Harley-Davidson to get the recall repaired as soon as possible. The potential risk here is severe. A sudden loss of tire pressure at speed, which could lead to a loss of control and a crash if this was to happen while you're riding your bike. Now, while that does sound bad, Harley has stated they haven't reported any crashes or injuries related to this specific defect, but the risk is there, so we have to be careful. As riders, we all do our own risk assessment, but for something that could lead to a complete tire failure, my personal advice and the safest approach is to minimize riding your affected Softail until the new parts are installed. Now it's worth inspecting it yourself, but even if you do inspect it, you might not see the stress or the fatigue on that mounting tab until it's too late. It's an unpredictable failure, and that's the scary part of it. So what you should do is check that your Harley Softail isn't affected. Check your VIN, and the easiest way to do that is to head over to the Harley-Davidson website, enter your VIN number, and they'll be able to tell you if your bike is affected or not. You can also contact your dealer And even if you haven't received a letter yet, call them. They may have some information about the fix and when the parts are going to arrive, and they can get you on their list. Once your dealer has the parts, get your bike in there for the repair. It's free of charge. Harley's going to cover the cost of that, and it's crucial for your safety. So let's get in there and get our bikes repaired. Be patient, but be consistent. We've got to keep in touch with our dealers. They're likely going to notify us, but a friendly follow-up doesn't hurt, and I want to get my bike repaired as quickly as possible. So there is a pretty significant recall for Softail owners, and it's a stark reminder that staying informed about the bike's maintenance and safety notices is absolutely essential. So if your Harley is affected by this recall, let me know in the comments below. I'd like to hear what you see and whether you've had a look at your bike. Also, have you called your dealer? Are they also waiting for parts? I'd love to hear what your experiences are. So that's it for this one. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more Harley and motorcycle content. Ride safe out there, everyone. Get your bike checked out, and I'll see you in the next video.